Let me know when you're ready.
And 3, 2, 1.
It's not how they works.
And 3, 2, 1.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to another edition of, I changed the name, bro.
What is it now?
H-Town Salute.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
H-Town Salute. That way I can get all the sports in. So, you know,
H-Town. Yes.
Once again, welcome to H-Town Salute. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Appreciate that for throwing up the H's.
Sir.
This is national NBA writer for Yahoo Sports, Kelly Iko. Kelly, on tonight, the Houston Rockets lost to the Detroit Pistons.
Right.
And, you know, before I ask you about, you know, for you to give your analysis, it just looked like they were out of sync to me.
Yep.
And it looked like they were out of sync, and it looked like the bullies kind of got bullied. Am I wrong there?
No. One of the biggest signs of being dominated physically is looking at the offensive glass numbers. For Houston playing a double big lineup, that should be their calling card, controlling the possessions, controlling the offensive glass. They allowed Detroit to be more physical, and that's what Ime kind of talked about in postgame. That kind of had a trickle-down effect on their offense. It was slow, it was laborious, you saw kind of the same issues that we saw last season in the half court. Not enough pace, the spacing was kind of off. And that will come, having to adjust without Fred VanVleet.
Yeah.
Adjusting to Kevin Durant, who had 37 points in there, he looked fantastic. It's going to take some time. I don't think, especially with the Rockets having lost Fred so suddenly in the middle of preparation for everything, the word around this team was everything that they were planning for, Fred was going to be a huge part of that.
Gotcha.
So him leaving at the last moment kind of threw things into disarray, so they're trying to recover on the fly. So you will see games like tonight where it looks kind of, stop-start, not consistent. I do think that they will improve at some point because you saw signs of, obviously KD had 37.
Yes.
So if they cater to that more, it should be a better product.
Yes.
But you will see games like this where they struggle against, teams that come in prepared, how to stop the double team, the double big lineups, and they'll have to go for it.
And the one thing that took me by surprise was the fact that the Detroit Pistons lost their starting center.
Yeah.
He was ejected from the game after he threw a punch at Amen Thompson. Yeah. And then Isaiah Stewart fouled out, and they brought in a guy who barely gets any playing time in Reed. I can't remember his first name, but in Reed, they brought him in, and he was still able to be effective. Yeah. I didn't think that the Rockets would ever get bullied like that, especially with the guys that they have on the team, the way that they play. But it looked like even after those guys were out, the Detroit Pistons just kept rolling. They kept playing their style of basketball, and it looked like the Houston Rockets did not adjust to that. They didn't play the style of basketball that we're used to seeing. But I will say this. I watched them against Oklahoma City.
Okay.
I watched them tonight against the Detroit Pistons. And before I, just give a full-out analysis of what I think that this Houston Rockets team is going to be, it's only been 2 games.
Right.
And like you said, with no Fred VanVleet, they're still trying to find some type of continuity as far as the lineups are concerned. And so sometimes the lineups that are on the floor, they look rocky. Yeah. They look shaky, and it just looks like Ime is trying to mix and match to see what he has. And so when you look at that, how can they fix that?
So, a lot of the issues can be solved with picking up the pace. He talked about them being a bit too slow with the ball. Now, obviously, some of that is going to be a natural byproduct of playing a lot of offense through Alperen Sengun. He is going to take his time trying to carve out the defense. You have to find that balance between playing Alp as an initiator, playing Amen as an initiator, playing Kevin as an initiator. Those guys all like different things in the half court. So as a coaching staff, you have to find that sweet spot. How can you accommodate all your players at different points in the game? It's never going to be perfect because the human beings like different things. They have weaknesses and strengths. But there is a way to maximize the offense. Maybe more paint touches, allowing for more kick-out threes. It took only, I think, 21 threes tonight. That's not a high number by any NBA standard. it's hard to win a basketball game like that with only taking 23s. In this new age of the three and the spacing and the emphasis on that. So I do think that in order for them to improve, they have to get back to what makes them good, which is getting on transition, getting easy offense, and allowing that to fuel them, get the crowd into it, and that that fuels their fire.
Yeah. And one of the bright spots in tonight's game was Josh Okogie.
Yeah.
And he's a guy that I've been watching throughout his career, but especially last year I started to pay more attention to him. I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't know he had hops like that. That's the first thing. I didn't think he can get up like that.
If you remember a video that went viral a few years ago of James Harden shooting a step back three and someone blocking it from behind twice, that was Josh Okogie.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
But I really like the way that he plays, and I like the way that he was able to come in and give the Rockets a spark. But what I can't understand and what is bothering me, and I'm going to be honest, is bothering me because I know that the Houston Rockets could use Aaron Holiday in some of these games.
Yes.
Not only as a veteran point guard presence, but he can also shoot. He can also, he's a point guard who knows how to run an offense. And sometimes it looks like the Rockets in these first two games need someone who could just, let's run a play, and that's to take nothing away from our man, because I think that our man is, a good point guard. But because he hasn't played that position in 2 years, he's still learning how to be on the ball compared to being off the ball for the last two years. And so Aaron Holiday is one of those guys, and he's tough, and he's a good defender. And I understand you want to get Josh Okogie in there. I know that you're going to play Tari. I know that you're going to play Reed. But at some point, you have to get Aaron Holiday into this rotation. And it may be one of those things where Ime is just trying, that he knows that he can depend on Aaron Holiday. So he's just trying to see what he has. But at some point, Kelly, and if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, he's going to have to play, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I compare it to a substitute teacher. Aaron is going to come in, do the job. He's not going to be overly flashy. He's not going to overly wow you in the box score. He's going to keep things organized to an extent. Now, I'm not saying you to rely on him for 8-10 minutes at a time, but just to be as a guide for a man, to be a guide for Reed. He's also another fourth person. Their spacing has been really bad. Like, the beauty of this jumbo lineup is that it's a terrifying defensive approach. Right? Offensively, enough teams have seen the Rockets do this last season to have film on it and study it and know how to counter it and make it ineffective offensively. And that compounded with their spacing issues, it's a cornucopia of a disaster waiting. So just to get Aaron in there, be a nice switch up. He's probably excited for the opportunity to play and showcase what he can bring to the table. So, the one thing about having a deep team is that you have options in the reserve when you need it. And at 0-2, they should be looking at something to switch things to do.
And like I said, it's just the first two games. We're going to see this lineup once they get healthy. Jayshawn Tate back. Once they get Dorian Finney-Smith, who's also a four spacer as well, who could also create his own shot. So, it's early on. We know that they lost 2 games. They lost 2 tough games. I mean, it's been very close coming down the stretch. The last question I have for you, Kelly, is it's a short turnaround because they play again on Monday against the Brooklyn Nets. How quickly can they fix some of the issues from this game?
That's a good question. The benefit that you have is playing Brooklyn, who's also 0-2, which is not a good team, who's coming in with no expectations. And at 0-2, you saw that they were already talking about being pissed off in the locker room and that being a good thing this early on in the season. You will see a playoff-like response from Houston against Brooklyn. Now, is that going to carry over long-term? Who knows? But I know as far as the Nets are concerned, the Rockets are going to come in extra motivated on Monday to make shots, to play hard, to play fast, to really impose their will on both ends of the floor. So I do think Monday should be a no-brainer.
Thank you for tuning in to H-Town Salutes. Kelly?
Where can they find me? Kelly Iko on the Twitter, or formerly known, I don't know how you do it. Kelly Iko. I'm on X. I'm on Blue Sky. Kelly Iko. Follow me on Yahoo. I'm doing a lot of great work over there. The ecosystem is coming back, so just stay tuned.
Yeah, I want to be a part of the ecosystem, so you and I have to talk offline.
Sure.
Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports, the Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because you know we do everything for the gram. And make sure that you are subscribed to Big Sarge Media that's going to host this H-Town Salute show. I appreciate that, Kelly.
Sure.
It's time for us to go and terrorize Cody because we're not going to see him again for a long time.
That's a good.
So it's a good thing we're not going to see him. I just want to go terrorize him for some reason. And look, hey y'all, look, I ain't gonna lie, I wore this shirt for Cody. Man, you see, Kelly and I got on black because we're setting the precedent. Because Kelly's bigger than the program, and I'm his bodyguard. Big Sarge, Kelly Iko. I'm out.